Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
A warm welcome to all of you present for our session here today. I am Alitya Barasho, the counselor at VMSIIHE, that is VM Salgaocar Institute of International Hospitality Education. And on behalf of my team, a warm welcome to all of you present here. Before we start the session, I would like to request all of you to kindly mute your mics and put your videos on so that we can see each other and have a very interactive session. Thank you so much. So again, a warm welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining us on VMSIIHE, Bridging the Gap Industry Connect series. This is an initiative taken by our institute to connect our students, parents, and stakeholders with the hospitality industry and professionals from the industry. Today, we have with us a very eminent professional in the industry, Ms. Ranju Alex, and I would like our administrator, Dr. Marie Raj, to do the honors of inviting her.
Thank you very much, Alitya, and good morning to everybody. I'm very happy to introduce to the audience a very formidable person. She is the first lady to lead the team in the entire 14-year tenure of the Marriott property. Currently, she holds the position of Vice President, West India Marriott International. A very warm welcome to VMSIIHE, Ms. Ranju Alex. I have a slide with the pictures of Mrs. Ranju Alex, who has been with the Marriotts since 2010. I thought this would be a better way to introduce her to the audience. She's been slowly climbing up the ladder from 2010. Her forte is operations and strategic management. And it not just that, but it is the attention to the small little details that enable her to make constructive and very critical judgments. You can see to my upper left, she is there holding a number of plaques and trophies. So can awards be far behind when we have a near perfectionist? So the top left photos show some of the awards and accolades she has received. Just a few examples. Her exemplary performance enabled her to secure what was called the All-K Balance Scorecard. Now, this is no mean achievement. People in the hotel industry probably would be very familiar with these kind of things, that K is the highest index of success for all 4 performance areas of the hotel. And she had the pride and joy to receive it. She's also been bestowed honors from the Women's Economic Forum as the best woman of the decade in business and leadership in 2017. Other awards like Women's Achiever from Femina, achievements in hospitality from the SHE are just a few of them. Accolades she has received from Condé Nast, The Telegraph are all additional feathers to her cap. I put a picture of her on the staircase. Now this exemplifies that it is not enough to go alone, but you need to welcome and help others up the ladder too. As a woman, she's very passionate about women empowerment and related issues. She is part of the WE Connect Forum to uplift women entrepreneurs, to promote and expand the scope of women in the field of commerce and industry. Ranju Alex has also managed to balance her life very well, family and career. She loves traveling, and it may surprise you to know that she has a collection of at least 6,000 books in her own personal library. So she makes time to read, and that is something which is extremely important and needs to be inculcated in most people. While all this sounds beautiful, it has not always been so with her. I read through a little snippet which told her she faced a major problem when she was very young and couldn't pursue her studies. But with the encouragement of her parents, she did so. She did a course which would be suitable for her regarding the medical problem she had, and she has made her way up. And you can see that while she rose above all these problems, personal struggles, and managed to overcome each one of them. So this is a small glimpse of a woman of substance, and hope she is an inspiration to many more youngsters, girls in particular. And the screen where I have put in Shahrukh Khan with her is just added fluff. She's met lots of people in her journey. Miss Ranju Alex, I would like to wish you success in your future career as well as in your personal life. Once again, we are very happy to have you today with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mariraj, for giving us this brief introduction on our speaker for today, and a warm welcome to Ms. Ranju Alex once again. Ms. Ranju Alex, I would now like you to take on the session and give us your valuable insight on the hospitality industry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marie. Thank you for making me, you made me sound very, very, very nice, and I loved every bit of it. Thank you. Of course, my meeting with Shahrukh Khan was one of the high points, and I've met him several times after that. He's an achiever in his own right and a wonderful person, and I learn a lot from him all the time. To start off with, I think it's important to know how the hospitality industry has grown and how we look at people in the hospitality industry. And this, I'll take you back to my own personal journey when we start this, and there are some funny moments and there are some serious moments. So I would love all of you to be interactive and let me know what you think of it. So when I was 17, I was above average in studies, but I think the main aim that I had in my life is to marry Amir Khan. He had just got launched during that time, and I was madly in love with him, and the only thing I wanted in life was to marry him. And I was convinced that one day he will spot me in the crowd and take me home and stuff like that, like every 17-year-old goes through. Like Marie mentioned, God had other plans. I was struck with a serious neurological disorder when I was 18, where I had 6 tumors in my brain and I had 5 in my body. And the doctors had given me exactly 6 months to live. They had told my parents that I would not be able to live beyond that. We were from a very middle-class family, so money was tight. But I think my parents spent their entire savings taking me to the Christian Medical Hospital in Vellore. I was hospitalized for 2.5 years. 3 tumors were taken out of my brain, 5 were taken out of my body. I still have 3 in my brain as we speak. They were very deep rooted, and the doctors were convinced that a young girl like me would end up having some serious side effects if those 3 were taken. So I still have 3, but they have been calcified and hence trouble me only once in a while. It's a rude reminder of the medical issue that I went through, but I've learned to live my life over and beyond that. Unfortunately for me, during that time, because of the medication, I put on a lot of weight. I was 102 kilos. I'm now 52, exactly half. Life was extremely difficult for 2.5 years, where I did not know if I would survive. But during those 2.5 years, I think I realized a lot. I remember one particular day where the doctors had given me 24 hours, and they said if she survives 24 hours, she will make it. And in those 24 hours, though I was sedated and I was out of consciousness, I was fleeting in and out of consciousness. I remember waking up once and telling God, give me another chance. I will make something out of my life. I'll study well. You know, as a kid, or the worst that you have done in your life has not been studied as per your parents' wishes. So to make up that, I said, I'll study well. Let me get well. I will do something with my life. Anyways, I passed out in 12th, but obviously I could not go into the mainstream because I was not allowed to study too much by the medical experts. So one fine day, my father said, why don't you join the hotel industry? And this is exactly 27, 28 years back, where there were only 3 or 4 hotel chains, the Taj and the Oberoi and the ITC, to talk about. And I remember my entire family, I'm from a very conservative Bihari family, were up in arms, my relatives, my community, saying, oh, she's a girl, how can she join the hotel industry? She will bring disrepute to the whole family. No one's going to marry the girls of a family. She can't join the hotel industry. It's not a very honorable profession to be in. But my dad knew that with my medical condition, this was one industry I could have done well. And he encouraged me to get in. I did go in. I did my 3 years. And when I was in the industry, when I was in college, there was another thought that was taking more and more space in my head, is when people in college said, oh, this is the industry which is based on looks, and only if you're tall and you're fair and you're very good looking is when you become successful. Now that continued to eat a lot of my time, and I was extremely sensitive about how I looked. I hadn't reduced all my weight during that time. I'm 5'1", I'm dark skinned. And I kept thinking I don't really have a place in the industry. However, what I did in those 3 years is I continued to work on the way I speak, the way I talk, the way I dress, because I felt a personality is far more than your skin color, and your personality is far more than the height that you carry or you're born with. 3 years later, the biggest surprise was that I got picked up as a management trainee in all the 4 hotel chains that came to recruit people from our college. The only one from our college who actually secured all 4 places. And that was a big shot in the arm for me as far as my confidence is concerned. I joined the Oberoi Hotels. I worked with them in several positions for 17 years. I moved on to now join Marriott for the last 12 years. And it's been a beautiful and inspiring journey. In fact, I had the honor of being the GM of the Goa Marriott in Panjim, and Mr. Salgaocar, the family, the institute will always remain extremely close to my heart. They have my support. And if there's any way I can support the students of that college to get their foothold in the industry, I'll be honored. So this has been my personal journey from a period where everybody said that it was a dishonor to the family for me joining. I think everybody today is very proud at the way my career has shaped up. Now, to take you through the journey of the hospitality industry in India over these past 30 years, like I said earlier, we just had 3 companies. We have grown exponentially. Every single international company has come into India. In Goa, I'm sure you have witnessed the boom in the hotel industry. We used to have 1 hotel as Marriott once upon a time. We now have 7. We have 3 more coming up. I'm sure everywhere you go in Goa itself, you must be witnessing the kind of hotels that's coming up. Just to share with you a little statistic. In the next 5 years, this industry needs 20,000 students to service the kind of boom this industry is witnessing. And guess how many students are actually going to get ready in the next 5 years? Only 8,000. So you can imagine, in an industry where the demand is so high and the supply is so less, it's only fair that the students or the professionals who get into this industry will rise exponentially in their careers by virtue of the amount of vacuum that is created, or the amount of positions that is created, because this industry is booming. Today, travel industry contributes to 6% of India's economy, and it's an industry in itself. There was a time where girls, especially from conservative families, were asked not to join the industry because it was not the most honorable profession. Today, it is a profession by choice. People study in their 10th and 12th because they can join the hotel industry. There are in Marriott hotels, we have 20% women workforce. Pre-pandemic, we had 22% women workforce. And that's a huge indication of how this industry has slowly grown and come of its own. And there's a huge pipeline of growth that is waiting. If you see all the international companies, they are signing up hotels. Marriott in particular has signed 22 hotels last year. In a pandemic year, 22 hotels. We open around 10 to 15 hotels every single year. There's that much of employment. There is that much of career growth that we have in the pipeline. So it's a very, very encouraging industry. I must warn you, it's not all glamour. I thought it used to be. I thought hotels were all about looking sharp, looking personable, and having smart personalities. Yes, that's a huge part of our industry. But let me tell you, it rides on a lot of hard work. And I'm sure all of you are up to hard work. Who isn't? If you want to make a mark for yourself in whichever industry, hard work is something that you can always depend upon to take you further in your career. I'm sure a lot of you must be wanting to ask me this question, that with the pandemic, the industry has suffered quite a bit, and it's there for everybody to see. How can I sit here and say that the industry has a great future? And I'll answer this question on my own. Yes, the pandemic was very, very difficult. I don't think any management book, I don't think any school, any college, any university in the world taught us how to deal with the pandemic. I think we all went into it blindsided, and we played the game as best as we could, given the circumstances. However, there are a couple of things that this pandemic has taught us. One, when we thought that tourism and hotel stays are mostly a result of foreigners traveling into the country, let me tell you, it's such a pleasant surprise to see the domestic travel in this industry grown so much over these last 2 years. 50% of Indians are now going out of their homes and staying. I'm sure a lot of children, a lot of professionals, a lot of you on this call today have in these 2 years said, oh, I'm so fed up at home. I am fed up of the cooking and the cleaning and all of that. I'm going to go and stay in a hotel for 2 days and come back. It's called the staycation. When you mix work with vacation, or you mix school with vacation, it's called a staycation. And when you have remote schools, when you have online schools, and you have online work, a lot of people are now using this as a way of life. Staycations have now become a way of life. It's not a leisure. It's not a luxury. It is a way of life now. I have a friend in Goa, and he runs these little apartments which have converted into a B&B. And he was telling me that throughout the pandemic, he's been booming because people from all over the country are coming to Goa to be there, because all the work is online. So they are at work, but they are in Goa doing that. Who would have thought of it? Nobody would have thought of it. I remember when I was in Bangalore and the pandemic had hit, there was a huge number of population which moved out of Bangalore, because and they took these little homes and these villas all over in leisure destinations where they just sat and they worked from there. Women who are working today and who have work from home are especially challenged because they have to look at the house because they are there. They don't really move out of the house, and yet they have to work as well. They are the ones who are encouraging staycations. And because of staycations, there's a lot of domestic tourism that has increased. Domestic tourism has increased, as I said, 50% more than what it used to be pre-pandemic. And all of us in the industry know that this trend is here to stay. People will move out of their homes for a couple of days in the weekend, in the week, or club it with a long holiday and go and stay in hotels. So that now we realize in India that tourism does not really mean foreigners coming into our country and taking hotel rooms and staying. That will continue to be a part of our lives. But I think the greatest part of this pandemic has been the potential of domestic tourism in India. There's a term which is very interesting, which I've heard, called the digital nomads, right? Digital nomads are people who have IT jobs and who go from place to place, work out of different places, whether it's a hotel, whether it's an Airbnb, whether it's a villa on rent, they work from there, and that is how they live life right now. And with the youngsters, this whole concept of being a digital nomad is very, very common now. They will continue to fuel the travel industry. They will take flights, they will stay in hotels, they will stay in villas, they will stay in Airbnbs, and they will continue to fuel our tourism. And this trend is also here to stay. Another trend that the industry has seen, which is a spin-off of staycations, is the me time that people now want. I personally know 4 Bollywood directors who always call me to give them a room at the Goa Marriott for 1 month or 1.5 months, where they sit and they write their scripts. There are a couple of directors, and I won't name them, who say that hotel is very, very lucky for them, because whenever they have written a script from that hotel, their movies have been a hit. And they take the me time to come to these hotels to write their scripts, and then call their teams to have these meetings where they take the movie forward. So me time is not necessarily about writing scripts or doing your own thing. It's also, a lot of people are also checking into hotels to focus on their health and their fitness. So a lot of hotels are now running these health programs where you come, the chef makes tailor-made food for you. You have a gym, you have a trainer at hand, you have a whole ecosystem working for you, where you are bound to lose weight. So a lot of people are now doing that. And a lot of people are also escaping from joint families. When you have a joint family and you are working and you're going to office, it makes things easier. But if you have a joint family and you have work from home, then every person takes up a room. And that's not always easy. So people are now moving out and taking these hotel stays and these villa stays again to move out of joint families, either for work or for leisure. So all in all these things put together gives us a very, very positive vibe that this industry is here to stay. The worst is over. We don't know what the world will bring. Will there be another virus that will come up, or pandemic? We are not astrologers. We don't know what the world will bring. But we only know one thing, that if we have survived this pandemic, the industry will survive and boom anything that is thrown our way. Yes, we've been dented. Yes, we've had hard times. Yes, people have lost jobs. Yes, people have had pay cuts, but we are back with a bang. And we can only see that after the first wave, which was brutal, the second wave was slightly better, and the third wave has been seriously much, much better for us. Another trend that has come up in the industry is that leisure destinations like Goa, like Mussoorie, like Mahabaleshwar, they do really good business when the rest of the country is down. And like I have said, I was in Goa, I was a GM from 2013 to 2015, and I always say that Goa never goes out of fashion, never. It'll always be the preferred destination for honeymoons, for weddings, for get-togethers. talk to any 50-year-old or a 40-year-old, and if they have a reunion of college, they will say, let's go to Goa. So all of you there are very, very lucky. It is one place which will never go out of fashion. This is one industry which has survived this blow, and it'll continue to flourish. So I seriously feel with the next 5 years looking as demanding of, like I mentioned earlier, you need 20,000 good pass out students to fill up the industry and work, whereas we are estimating only 8,000. I think this is the time to strike. Always join an industry which has the capacity to fuel your own personal and professional growth. And this is the industry to do that right now. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ranju Alex, for your truly inspiring words and your journey. You've been a role model to a lot of us, and you've touched a lot of us today. Also, thank you for educating us on the new concepts in the hospitality industry, like the leisure destinations, digital nomads, staycations. You bring a positivity to us in these times of the pandemic, knowing that there's a blooming perspective for the hospitality industry even today. So thank you very much for that. And now I would like to invite our co-chairperson, Mr. Ashraf Nizwari, the director of the Ridari Hotels Private Limited, and also our co-chairperson, Ms. Melba Was, the principal of Mount Mary Higher Secondary, Chinchini, Goa, to have an interactive session with our speaker for today, Ranju Alex. So a warm welcome to the both of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Edita, and thank you, Ranju, to being here on this platform and giving your inputs on the industry status as of now. I'm sure today, as you can see, that we have over 100 participants who are on the platform, and most of them are the students who are looking forward for their career in hospitality industry, and with inputs that which you have shared and information that which you have given are definitely going to be a really great for all of us who are here on this platform. And of course, we will continue with the conversation, and I'm sure that that would also lead to more information from your side to our young students, entrepreneurs who would now build up their career. I'm sure they would be motivated, like as you started from the age of 17, and we also have here many youngsters who would also like to be in your shoes sometime tomorrow. So what do you have to say, Melba?
I go forward now to our Ranju. So hello, Ranju.
Hi.
Very delighted to be with you this morning. And I can say all of us on this call are really powered by you. Your story was very empowering and inspiring. You have also covered why we are going to go forward now, and the future of the industry is amazing. So you've covered that area which we were so concerned with the pandemic, how it would be. Now we know that the future is bright and promising. So can we go?
Sure.
On behalf of everyone, I want to, clarify all the doubts which are still behind in the memories and fears that are still existing in our mind.
Sure.
You've covered most of it, but still I'm going to ask you once again, because this COVID has really brought shivers in our parents' and students' minds. So since we have a CRM section, catering and restaurant management,
Sure.
we always get parents asking us this question over and over again. And they always ask us that pandemic, COVID-19, is it going to affect the children? So can you throw some light once again on the future of the hospitality industry in the wake of COVID-19?
Sure, thank you. Like I said, the first wave was brutal for us, and nothing in the world had ever taught us. No grandparents, no books, no college, no university, no management books had taught us how to deal with it. And we went into it completely blindfolded. We dealt with it with whatever we could. The second wave, I think, human nature, by the inherent human nature is to mix around with people, to enjoy, to go out. You cannot keep people boxed, and we saw that in the first wave. We did not know what it was all about. There was this huge taboo. People were losing lives, especially the elderly people. In the second wave, despite a lot of people still losing lives, I think a huge section of people were outside. They were still going to hotels, they were dining in restaurants, following the government guidelines. And the third wave, if you see now, is so diluted.
Yes.
Thankfully, the virus is also diluted, but the wave is diluted as well. With the students who are on this call today, I have only one thing to say. If you do take hotels as a career, it's another 4 years before you pass out. And in those 4 years, we'll be out and about and would have bounced back big time in the industry. So it would be the right time for you to join. You know, I want to burst a myth here. People say a lot of people lost jobs during the pandemic at hotels, and there are a lot of talent which is available in the market. You will be surprised that even today, when business is picking up and we are looking for people, there's a huge dearth of talent in the market. And that is what I want the students today to recognize, that there is a dearth. And if you do join the industry today, you will have a lot of professional and personal growth that will come your way. And this industry, this pandemic has not just dented us, it has dented a lot of industries. A lot of industries have seen financial losses. Yes, the hospitality industry has seen the hardest fall, but we are already on our feet once again, and there is a positivity. And like I said, it has shown us different avenues of revenue and business which we did not even recognize existed earlier. It's changed our life completely. And case in point, I'm telling you, we do home deliveries now of food. It's become an industry in an industry. We never did home delivery of food earlier, but look at the amount of home deliveries that happen today. There are companies which are the third party companies which are aggregators for this, who are making money. So whilst one door closes, another has opened, a window has opened, and the door is also opening again. So I am personally extremely positive and optimistic about the industry, and I would like the students to believe that by the time they actually take this, start studying and pass out, the industry will be in a brilliant place once again.
So I can say that we have turned the pain into power, right?
Yes. God teaches you that. The life teaches you that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's indeed a good perspective we have here of the industry in the future. And as we all know, change is constant, and so it is in our industry and as in other industries. So how do you adapt to the challenging trends in the dynamic travel and hospitality industries and meet the expectations, especially of the new gen customers? And what are some of the trends that you see impacting the hospitality industry? I'm sure our students especially would like to hear on this from you.
Sure. So like I said, a lot of youngsters are now traveling, and they have their own likes, dislikes, ways of communication. I remember a time in hotels a few years back where every guest who walked into the door, we would address them as sir and ma'am, and that was the way to go. Today, most of the guests are addressed by their first name because they are that much younger. That's what's practiced in their offices. That's what is practiced at home, and hence, so I won't say we have shifted our paradigm completely, but there has been a paradigm shift where the way we look at stuff, a lot of digitalization has happened in the industry, not just the pandemic, even before the pandemic, a lot of digitalization has happened. In most of our hotels now, you can pre-check in, you can come in, you get a digi key, you can move into your room straight away without any interaction. There are still many guests who like to come to the reception, speak to the person at the front desk. So you have a mix. I think we are right now, if you ask me, we are in a transition of the old and the new. I don't think the old will completely go out of fashion. It will be there, because at the end of the day, hospitality is about a lot of personal interactions, a lot of personal moments with people in a hotel, but it is also being taken, a little bit of space is also being taken by the digitalization. One case in point, every restaurant we earlier went to, the first thing the server would give us is the menu. Today, we all take out our phones and scan the barcode to get the menu. I never thought we could do that. And it's so much easier because it remains in the phone remains in your hand throughout. There's no pressure to give the menu back to the server so that he or she can give it to somebody else. So a lot has changed. How we adapt ourselves, I think as leaders in the hospitality industry, we know that we have to change with the changing nature of the people walking into our hotels. It's no point sitting and saying that I have this way, and even if my clientele is changing, I shall not change. We'll be out of business very, very soon. So I think it's, and especially companies like Marriott, which has a global presence. We are all over the world. We are very, very quick to sense the trends in the world, to customize our services according to that, and then take it forward. So we travel a lot as industry leaders. We travel ourselves quite a bit. We expose ourselves to competition, to see what is being done better there, what we could do better. And we are always evolving. It's a constant process. Every single day we are evolving. So I think the one thing when you enter the industry is very, very evident is that you have to change with changing times. And that becomes a part of our DNA when we move forward. So it's easier. I mean, I never thought I could be technologically savvy, but I have started to do that, because I would be left behind if I did not do it, not just by the industry, but in the world too. So I guess, I mean, did we ever think that 115 people would actually meet on a laptop? But we are doing that. So yeah, change is constant.
Really, change is constant, and I mean, technology is today helping us a lot to face this dynamic changes that we see. And as you rightly said, yeah, many of us have started learning technology right at the age of after 40 or 50s. But we have here all the students who are well versed with, especially all the digital technologies, and they update to it. That's, I'm sure it's many of us here would take up those inputs. So Melba, I think, what do you say next?
Yeah, I agree. So actually, Ranju, women are power. And you have just shown us, you were in the ring, you were knocked down, but you did not push yourself out, you did not get knocked out. And that's what we are. Women are empathetic leaders, good listeners, and of course, they understand deep layers within. But tell me then, Ranju, why do you think that there are not enough women in leadership positions in the hospitality industry?
I've broken my head over this for a long period of time, and it's very sad. When I was in college, we had 15 women in our class, and today I'm the only one who's survived it or stuck around in the industry. I think what happens is hoteliering in the initial years is long hours, right? If a VIP is coming at 11:30, you cannot say that I have a 9 to 6 job. I'm going away at 6 o'clock in the evening, and that I think discourages women to come in. The only thing I have to say here is there are about 6 or 7 years in your personal life which is very difficult. You are married, you have children, you have a job in an hotel industry, and if you survive those 6-7 years with the help of others in the family or your friends or the ecosystem around you, and build an ecosystem where it supports your job, your spouse has to support you. I think once you survive those 6-7 years, after that the journey becomes incredibly easy. You get hooked on to the concept of earning your own money. You get hooked on to the concept of doing well to get recognized, and then it just continues. I'll give you my schedule. And now my kids have grown and flown the nest, but when they were younger, I would wake up at 5:30. I would go for my run. I would come back, pack their bags, tiffins, send them to school, go to work. I would come back at 8:39, sit with them with their homework, dinner. And by the time I would hit the bed at 10:30, 11, I probably didn't even remember my name because I was so exhausted. And this went on for years and years together. But I had a very supportive husband. I had a very supportive family. I always ensured I had domestic help. I think I just built an ecosystem around me which helped me to work. The day you tell yourself that work is a priority, I think then you move around taking care of the rest of the stuff. The problem with women is it's either the family or the community or the society. They are seasoned in such a way that they are told that you are the person responsible for bringing the child up or getting the dinner on the table. I'm sorry, but the man is equally responsible for bringing the child up and bringing the dinner on the table. Every time I have taken, I think 8 transfers in my life, and my kids have gone to 9 schools. And every time I was asked this question, how can you take a transfer every 2.5 years? And my question is, does a man ever get asked, can you take a transfer? The woman is supposed to drop everything in that city and accompany the man to the next city, right? But how many people actually ask men? In the north of India, even today, when there's an arranged marriage, they ask the girls, and it happens in my family, are you going to work after marriage? How many of us actually turn around and ask a man, do you work after marriage? I just feel women are born with a natural grace and a sense of hospitality. It's in our DNA because of the way we've been brought up in India. And I think if we use it in hotels, it really makes for a very powerful career. And I feel I love the men in my life. I think I owe everything to my dad, my husband, and now my son. It's not about men versus women at any point of time. It's about being partners, having that partnership and growing together. But I think women just need to stick on from that age of 25 to a 32, 33, and then they will build that career. But a lot of them give up. They all join hotels. You will see a lot of women in the reception or in the spa or in F&B, a lot of those areas. It's when you start going higher up is when they give up. And I just feel they should have that perseverance to do that.
Absolutely, yes, I agree.
Sure. I think as we go ahead and as we have said, that changing times bring changes in norms. And now today also on this platform, I'm sure, as I was just going through the people who are here, the participants and students, more than 30-35% are women here. So we are gaining a lot here, and it's no more only a glamorous industry, but then people are interested in it. Well, and as I said, and we all know that on this platform, we have many students from the institute, and then this is what they would like to also know. Is there any niche market or career opportunity in the hospitality industry that you feel has a growing demand for professionals? And what skill or specialized courses that one needs to take for them to achieve better in their career?
I think operations is like housekeeping, front office, F&B, culinary has always been in demand because that's the backbone of the hotel. That's what your guests use, and that's always been the backbone. However, to answer your question, I think there's one stream in the hotels that is coming up big time is revenue management. With technology coming our way, with competition growing so much, and like I said, the industry is growing, so competition's growing. I think the one aspect that we have started giving a lot of importance to is revenue management. That was one thing I had not seen till 10 years back. Marriott as a company is extremely far-sighted as far as revenue management is concerned. And now, having been in this company, I see how they can change the life of a hotel. So that is one area that, and the second is marketing. With everything now being digital, earlier for us, 10 years back, marketing was just a magazine that you read and the ad that you read in the paper. But today, marketing has taken a whole new meaning. Everything is digitalized. You can see reviews. You can see how each hotel is trending. You can see how, I mean, everything is on social media, right? So I think that aspect is taking a lot of space and will continue to take a lot of space. So two areas, revenue management and digital space, whether it's marketing or it's social media, everything is growing large. And I think those are two areas to watch out for.
Sure, thank you for the input. And I'm sure, I think, what would be the skills that you would be looking for if you have to hire?
Attitude, completely. We can teach skills. So when, and in college or university, your knowledge is very theoretical. You just have 6 months of internship that you can fall back on as practical knowledge. It's very theoretical, and we know that the base has already been formed by the university. Every company has different styles of operations working, different reports to generate. So when we are looking for hiring people, it is completely the attitude. If the attitude is positive, we know that the person will pick up the skills that the company is looking forward to. Attitude, and the second, of course, very important is values. Your personal values should mirror the values of the company. That's very important. And I know it's very difficult to gauge all of this in a 15-minute or a half-an-hour interview. But as leaders who meet so many people, who have dealt with so many people and work with so many people, we have an inkling, we have a hunch when we meet somebody. So I think skill and value system is very important when we meet a pass out student, or even somebody who's worked in the industry and wants to join our company. The rest can be taught. But you can't teach attitude and value system. That's something you are born with, you are brought up with, and something that you inculcate from the society as and how you grow up.
Sure, I mean, this will definitely help all our students here, that it's not only the skills that are important, but the right attitude and values are what can make or break a person. Well, with this, Melba, I mean, do you have something more to add?
Yeah, I would like to, talk about passion. The key to happiness is to love what you do. It is that burning desire that fuels everybody to get into action. So we hear hoteliers talk about their passion. What would be your passion, or what is your passion, Ranju?
I love my job. I think that solves for a lot of my professional life. I am passionate about coming to work, delivering results. I'm passionate about being of importance or meaning to my company. I'm passionate about the people I work with, about the growth that I can be a catalyst in, about the learnings that one can give. I am very passionate about this industry doing very, very well. You know, 25 years back, 28 years back when I joined the industry, if you did not get a seat with engineering or with medicine, then you joined the industry. But now it is an industry where people grow up saying, I will be a part of this industry when I grow up. So the paradigm has shifted quite a bit, and I want that to continue. I don't want it to be a plan B for somebody. I want it to be a plan A. The industry has to be a plan A for somebody. And if it is a plan A for you, you will be passionate about it. And it's not as if we don't have difficult days. I'm not a saint either. I have days where I come back home, I've had a bad day, and I ask myself, why am I doing this? I just want to quit tomorrow. But the next day I'm up and about. There's a joke in my family where I come back home in the night and tell my husband, okay, so my resignation's ready. I'm leaving the job tomorrow. I'm going to sit at home. I'm going to do everything that I've not been able to do in 28 years, watch TV, read books, cook, everything, you know. And these are dreams of a working woman anyways. And the next morning I'm back in my sari, my lipstick, and my husband says, so what about the resignation? And I'll say, it's okay, I slept over it. So it's a joke. It's not as if I don't have those moments. I do have those moments where I also feel like giving it all up. But those moments are very rare. And I've had to have a very, very bad day to have a moment like that. But the idea is to come back and battle those issues and continue to see through. And if we think this industry is the only one which has bad days, we are wrong. Every job has its good and bads. And I think if you're passionate about what you are working for, it just makes life that much easier. Your job becomes a pleasure for you when you come to work. But even after 28, 29 years in the industry, I come to work with a spring in my step every single day.
So I'm very, very convinced that passion comes from loving people, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Indeed, love your work should be the motto for all of us. And if we love our work, I mean, we are definitely to make
Yes.
a mark. With this, as we discussed earlier, a little bit on technology and all that. So we would like to know, and what do you feel about the virtual reality, VR, which we've seen, like, virtual tours and property showcasing, and I mean, how far will this go, and does it really help, or in which way we can move forward in this?
Like I said earlier, I think it's growing with time. It's something that has caught the fancy. The younger generation, it's a part of their life. You take a mobile out of the hand, it's like taking an organ out of their body. So I think it's become an integral part of our life, and we have to continue to build on this, because this is not going away. This is just growing to grow bigger. Whilst personalization continues to have its own merits, but we should not, just 1 minute, please. Sorry. I need some privacy. I can't have people moving around. Sorry. So perils of working from a hotel. Sorry. So what I was saying is that you cannot not look at this. This will become larger than life. And I think the better we are used to it, though I personally feel it is the privacy gets compromised big time. I just feel everything is on social media these days. There's people live for that. There are moments created for that, but I guess it's a reality we can't escape. I'm sorry, I'm sounding a little old world, but I mean, today we build hotels, and there are places at the porch where we build these signages where we know it's going to be an Instagrammable point. We've actually started building hotels where we know it's going to be an Instagrammable point. So now that the pandemics only increased the focus on digitalization. And though the pandemic is going to be over, but I think digitalization is here to stay. And the sooner we recognize that and the sooner we become smarter with that, I think the better it is. Yes, and it has some very good points. Today, if you want to choose earlier on, if you wanted to choose a hotel, say in Goa to stay, you would ask your friend, you stayed in that hotel 5 years back, how was the service? Today, you go online, you get everything. You are completely independent. Yeah.
But true, and we can update the information and the details of the property as and when. As the earlier years, we used to come up with a brochure which would last for a couple of years. So
Yes.
I think this is really going to help a lot.
Yes.
Thank you for your inputs on this. And I think Melba has something more to
Yes,
ask.
I want to ask Ranju about our youth are aspiring for a brilliant, vibrant future. AI intelligence coming up very soon. What advice would you give our young, aspiring hoteliers today?
Digitalization, AI intelligence can come and go. I think what stays is hard work and integrity. That's there are no shortcuts to that. And I just feel that, I have kids, if I may say. My son is going to be 23 and my daughter is going to be 21 now this year. And I always felt that that generation was a little flippant. It was not very serious. They just lived life. They had a golden spoon in their mouth when they were born, compared to the kind of financial challenges we went through as kids, because economy was not as robust in those days in India. But I just feel that I think I got it wrong. They have a passion. They have they focus on a lot of hard work themselves. But it's a different way to do it. They have different expectations from life. But no matter what those expectations and the way they go about it, I think integrity and hard work will always remain out there. And people who have that will continue to grow. That's my only two bits. And perseverance. Don't give up. I have seen this. I don't like a job for 2 days. I have had a fight with my manager one day, and I give up my job and walk out, and then very happy that I'll get another job. Don't. Persevere. Stick on. I mean, the one change I have seen in these years is the CVs. Earlier, you had just one or two companies that you worked with. Today, if you see a CV, they would have worked every 2 years in another company. That's something I can never get my head around.
So I can say that you added so much value to this call. So why waste time figuring it out? We can walk the talk now.
Thank you.
Yeah. Indeed, I mean, one has to love your work, one has to be sincere and dedication, and definitely that are the qualities that will take everyone up. And that's what we have seen. You've been a fighter and you have never given up, and right from the age of 17, in spite of so many hardships. I mean, today you have achieved a great success for yourself, and that is because of your sincerity, dedication, and putting in a lot of hard work. And I'm sure that this is going to encourage all of us here and the participants who are here, mostly, especially the students, that never give up, be sincere, dedicate, and you are going to be successful in some time tomorrow. Because it also reminds me in the same for me, like when I started at the age of 21 with a 27-room hotel without any funding, and today it was only these things, that is dedication, sincerity, and what can make you or break you. So good luck. I mean, thank you very much, Anju. It was really pleasure having this conversation with you. And I'm sure all of us who are here have gained a lot from this experience, from this 1 hour talk with you. And thank you to the VM Hospital, Salgaocar Institute of International Hospitality, and Professor Irfan and everyone, for having given us this opportunity to be on this platform. And I think Melba can
Yes,
now.
I want to say something. I can't hold this.
What?
You're a woman and I'm a woman too.
It's been so interesting that, we keep on talking, and I hope that it was not 1 hour, but 2 hours. But then there is a limitation for everyone. So thank you very much, one and all. Thank you. Melba.
Yes, so Ranju, whenever I'm down, I know whom to think of. You are my fan from today. And I'm going to use your story to empower my students of Mount Mary's Higher Secondary School.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being
Melba.
with us this
Thank
morning.
you. Thank you. Anything for Professor Mirza. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. What an amazing person you are. I have heard about your stories, and again and again when I hear what you have gone through at the age of 17, the difficulties and the health issues, and then you went on to become a great hotelier. You're a real fighter. You never give up. And we admire you, and you are a role model to everyone, especially those who are in the hospitality industry, aspiring to become hoteliers. I remember you came to our institute in 2015 to give a lecture. Yes. And you said your passion also is to become a teacher one day. And
yes.
And you also touched some points about the size and the color. And for me, the size doesn't matter. What defines you as a person is not your color. You went on to become a great hotelier. When you came to our institute to give a speech, how many students looked upon you. And some of our girl students, they changed their hairstyle, they cut their hair, they wanted to look like Ranju Alex. And you are a beautiful person, and you're a charismatic person, and a wonderful person, wonderful human being. And you talked about attitude. Knowledge and skills cannot be taught, but one has the right attitude, they can come up in life. That is exactly that we always try to tell our students. And I hope to see you soon.
Yes.
I know you are so much attached to Goa. And Goa, the Marriott is not only lucky for the Bollywood, and an EGM who leaves Goa Marriott, the Goa's area.
Yes. True. That's going to be part of the folklore now, Professor Mirza.
Yes. And you covered most of it. Your determination, your hard work. I'm sure that your family is proud of you, your children are proud of you, and we are very proud of you. And
thank you.
We hear always good things about you from Mr. Gude. Even last night I spoke to Mr. Gude, and he conveyed his best wishes to you, and all the very best. Thank you so much, Ranju. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm honored.
I'd like to thank Mr. Ashraf Ali Nizari, my good friend, also principal. Miss Melba was very touching today. The conversation went on to, and I'm sure that she's going to share your experience with her students. And I would like to thank Miss Etna, Miss Alithia, my colleagues for organizing this webinar. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone once again for attending our session, and a big thank you to Ma'am Ranju, Ms. Melba, and Sir Ashraf for making this session very interactive. And also to our participants, a small note, I hope all your questions have been answered. And for those whose questions have not been answered because of the time constraint, we will get back to you with your answers very soon.
We also would like to thank all the participants.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.